Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. Website on the bottom is liminal11.com, if you're interested, of course. Supportive Oracle Cards, Your Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back is rockpoolpublishing.com.au, A as an apple, U as an umbrella. Okay. What do we have for Capricorn? You know, this is interesting to me. In the sense of, like, I just did Virgo. And like Virgo, you're going through a change. You're both earth signs, but the thing is, you seem to be handling it a lot better. Just based on the reading I'm seeing so far. Which is interesting. Because between the two of you, Virgo and Capricorn, just generically, I probably should say that, Capricorn's the one more likely to hold on and not let go. I'm seeing the reverse here, so it's kind of like, it's very interesting. It's kind of like there's a change coming. And I guess we'll find out. For some reason, well, okay, I'm seeing the reason. You're kind of like, you know what, whatever. And I feel like you're going with it. This is in the past, the Four of Cups. I think this is literally the key on why you are accepting this change. Because it does seem to be coming in a bit fast. And I was like, usually that's not Capricorn's thing. Like, fast change is not really usually wanted. But this card is telling me whatever's been going on in this situation, there's been pieces of it. Not only do you dislike, but it's kind of like been smoldering. It's been smoldering there for a little while. Kind of like... It could have been a couple of years. This might have been sitting there, kind of like, I don't really like that. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's almost like when you work with somebody and they're just, you just don't care for them. We'll just leave it at that. You can color that any way you want naturally, but you just don't care for them. And what you don't like, maybe they're a part of your friend group, or like they're in your team, and you're just kind of like, I don't like them. I really don't like them. I don't like talking to them. I don't like looking at them. I hate knowing they exist. We've all had people we've worked with like that. I really think we have. Most of us, anyway. If you worked in a corporate environment especially, there's just those people that it's kind of like, I got to smile and act like I like them, but in truth, you know, if I never saw them again, that'd be a good thing. But we have to, like, play nice. It's, you know, especially if you're in a corporate situation, just like, I gotta play nice. Something like that. Doesn't have to be literally a person. Something about this situation you have not liked for quite a while. And now, when this change comes in, that problem says bye-bye. Whatever that... It doesn't have to be a person, but whatever it is, it changes this a lot. And I feel like when this comes in very quickly, the fact that it solves that part of this for you, and you've not liked that for the longest time, it's kind of like, I could hold on, but wait, that person's here? I'll let go. It's kind of like, they're like, you have to change, you have to move, and you're like, but what about them? They're staying here. You're the one that has to change. They're just going to stay there. All right, I'm going. And then you win. I'm out. I'm going. Safe to say, if it's a person, it's not like a very mild dislike. It's like, I really don't like that person. So getting away from that person, okay, I gotta go, man, then I gotta go. The way that emotion balances out, I feel like if this reading is hitting, you know what I'm talking about, because the end is here for that. And I feel like it really does solve something. This reminds me of, like, when I changed departments years ago. I didn't trust the person, the manager. I didn't see them as a good person at all. I'm kind of like, I don't know how you got that job, but apparently it wasn't on scruples, because you don't have any. And then when I had a chance to go to a whole different department, it really didn't matter what the department was. It's just like, I get away from that one, I'm out. Here we go. I'm going. So I can relate to that. It's kind of like when you really don't trust somebody, and maybe this is a manager type thing. If it's a work thing, maybe it's something like that. Kind of like, hey, I don't have to deal with that person, then I don't have to worry about watching my back with them anymore either. That's helpful. It's coming in. There's more information that's about to come in. When I'm getting the psychic conversations for you, I feel like also when the change starts, you know how this goes. You know, once it starts, it takes a while to end. So it's like almost like a season of change, maybe 2 seasons. So like a season is 3 months, that type of thing. Maybe 6. So like 3 to 6 months. This might be for like changes are going to keep coming. Thing is, you realize that getting into it, you realize this moving forward. You realize that you realize it's going to happen, whether you're at peace with it or not. I kind of feel this Capricorn energy going. It doesn't. What's to make peace with? It's going to happen. There's a person I'm thinking of, and I can see them looking me dead in the eye, and saying something like, "What do you mean make peace with it? It's going to happen. Like it's just going to happen." Like, I don't know how to explain that. This person I'm thinking of, they're just very blunt, kind of like, it's going to happen. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. It's just going to happen. So, I deal with it. Better things, better connections for you coming in, a lot better connections. I also see, again, you're rolling with it because it's kind of like, this is what I'm getting into. It's kind of like, I'm going to be going across country. I am not familiar with this area. I'm not familiar with this land. And it's going to take a while to get across here. So I'm just going to be ready for anything and just going to roll with it because that's just what I have to do. It's kind of like, it's just what I have to do. I feel like I want to say you're accepting it, but I also feel like that's the wrong way to handle it. It's just like, this is just what it is. So that's what it is. You're just kind of like, that's what it is. So it's not about accepting it. It's just about making it through it and making the best of it. Ironically, I don't think it's very turbulent for you because you have people looking out for you. That's nice. That's good. You do have people looking out for you, especially because I feel like you're accepting of the change, and I feel like people don't take that lightly. And whoever you're dealing with, they seem to think they know you a little bit. And the fact that you're kind of rolling with it and you're being positive with it and you're just kind of like, all right, we got to do that then. They don't take that for granted, and they want to try to keep it in a positive energy for you. Like they want to keep it, they want to do what they can for you because you're happy, you're going with it, they want to keep you happy. So they're trying to tell you what they can. They're also very careful about what they're telling you because they seem to understand, like, if they're telling you, like, this might happen, that might happen, this might happen, it might start helping you. They're telling you, like, okay, in a couple hours, this is going to happen. Tomorrow or the next day, this is going to happen. 2 weeks from now, so-and-so is coming and they're going to be sitting here. They're telling you things like that. Like, they know this is going to happen. They know that's going to happen. They probably won't go out more than a week, maybe 2. But I feel like they're telling you, when they know something is stabilized, then they're telling you things. They know that that's what you want. You want to know, tell me the facts. Tell me what's going to be here. Don't tell me what might be here. Tell me what will be here. So then I can deal with that and I can put that together. Don't give me all these mights, maybes. I don't want that. Very respectful energy towards you. Very, very respectful energy towards Capricorn. Very respectful energy. With this change coming forward, whatever it is, people are handing you things that they want to stay. So, like, whatever the change is, I don't know what it is, because it's like, it depends on what you're dealing with. I mean, it's a general read, but you're kind of like the base. You're kind of like, so like, you might be in control of the money. People want to know what's there. People want to make sure it doesn't just easily disappear. And what does get used, we know where it went. And Capricorn is very good at keeping an eye on that type of stuff, in my opinion. Or if it's something to do with food, you are going to be the one in charge of like what's here, how much is here, what is it going to be used for, when is it going to be used, the rationing out, stuff like that, where they're like, we need that to be stable. So we're going to be very good with Capricorn, and we're going to put Capricorn in control of that. We're going to let Capricorn how much is supposed to be used per day, and what we got coming in, and like, making sure that nothing is like frivolously used. So I feel like they're helping you be part of something that you can stabilize, because stabilization, that's an earth trait in your earth sign. I feel like it's something like that. There definitely is fire energy around you. Two of Wands, Ace of Wands. Is that the Knight? What is this? The Princess. I kind of feel the Knight on this one right now. Six of Torches, which is another fire card, but that's success. A lot of going on, a lot of fire going all over the place. But it's like it's all happening out there. They're solving the thing and coming back to you and touching base with you. It's like you're base camp. You're the base camp person. More fire. Oh my gosh, more fire. Four of Wands, which is typically a stabilization card for fire. This deck does it a little differently. Sometimes the Four of Wands, in my opinion, talks about contracts. That's just the way I learned it. But the way this is showing it is kind of like, the pieces are ready. It hasn't been erected yet, but the situation is kind of ready to start forming into something permanent. It's kind of like I'm looking at these four wands and I'm kind of like seeing them as boards, almost like these boards, like the materials are laid out. I'm like looking at like almost like a construction site where all the material is laid out and ready for use. The plan is ready. Now it's time to execute the plan and actually erect the structure. And I do feel like this is a long-term project. So it's kind of like this might be a very big structure and maybe you only have 5 people working on it. We're going to pretend that's sufficient. I don't know if that really would be, but we're going to say it would be. So it's kind of like it's going to take some time to really get this up and running the way it should be. But we got the materials. We maybe got enough people. And I feel like you're in control of like looking at what's really there and being the sounding board, if that makes sense or doesn't make sense. People want your opinion. People want your opinion for the long haul. Very, very interesting. And because this card is highlighting it, you're getting along with somebody who's very active, very calling the shots, they can be very random. But I almost feel like they're touching base with you, kind of like, we've only got so much raw materials. There's only so much we have. There's only so much we can afford. And we have to have this structure built before we can start replenishing or making good on that. So it's kind of like they don't want to waste things. So they keep touching base with you, kind of like, does this make sense? Is this going to work? And if you're like, yes, they just, boom, get it done. If you're like, it doesn't look right to me, they're going to be like, well, why? And you're going to tell them why, and then you're going to tell them long term that you could have this problem. And they're like, well, that's unacceptable. And then you're going to tell them, well, find a different plan. And I feel like they're very good to you. This is an energy that doesn't always match Capricorn. But the Seven of Pentacles with the King of Wands, they're looking long term. They're like, this has to succeed long term. And it's going to take a while, and it's kind of like when this finally comes to fruition, we need a great outcome. We don't need, we can't be just rebuilding things. We can't afford tower moments. We need Capricorn to tell us what they think so that we don't get tower moments. And they're very respectful to you. I get the happiness card again. Like, they're like, we have to work with Capricorn. Capricorn knows what works. Capricorn will look at this and say, that doesn't hold water. Don't do that. Or Capricorn will be like, it could, but I wouldn't do it. And I feel like if you say something like that, like, well, I guess it possibly could, but I wouldn't do it, then they're going to like, well, that's unacceptable because that's a risk and we don't want that. Very respectful to you. I feel like Capricorn gets the crap end of the stick sometimes and people are just kind of rotten to you because they just think you're difficult. That's not always the case. There's reasons why you feel the way you feel. Whether you're willing to share those reasons, that's a whole nother thing. But in this situation, people are being good to you because they realize, at least this person seems to understand your value. And they want to make sure they utilize that to the best. So I think this is good, actually. For a change in the way this change is coming in, I was kind of surprised that you're accepting and liking this, but I feel like overall, how I explained it, I think it makes sense on why. So How long is this going to take is subjective to your situation, but I feel like this could be a really good thing. This person is there anything else with that person that I should say? Because there's something up with that person. I'm trying to understand, are they a long-term connection, or is it just until this project is finished, whatever this project may be? Page of Fire and the Justice card. This person may call on you again in the future after this is done, but they're very careful about when they connect with you. I feel like this person is on good terms with you, at least during this situation, but they want to stay on good terms with you. So they don't involve you in whatever they're doing unless they feel like they really need your connection, because when you're connected, they need to honor what you're thinking and what you're saying. So, and they're not always like that. So if it's some situation where it's kind of like, well, Capricorn can say what they want, but I'm going to do what I want anyway, they won't involve you in it because they're not going to really heed your advice. But if it's something like, well, no, this has to work, and they have another project in the future where that's the situation where this has to work, they'll probably include you in something like that because they're like, no, I need to listen to Capricorn. So because I need to, I know I will, and because I will, this connection with Capricorn will stay in a positive, good place. So they may call on you again in the future, but they're very careful about when, because it's like they have to come to their own peace, their own resolution, where if I'm going to involve Capricorn, I need to be honorable to that information. If I'm not willing to, then I need to leave Capricorn alone. So that's again why they're only going to pull you into things where it has to succeed, because they know they have to listen to you, so they will honor that. So they want to stay on good terms with you. They want to get along with you. I feel like they know how they are, and they're just making sure they don't add you into something unless they're very confident they're going to stick with it. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.